brilliance. You are part of the cosmic flow. You are part of universal law. You are part of the creative process. You are a creator as well. We need more people to live in the energy of love, because love is an energy of resistance. Hello. Today, I want to talk about kind of how I've been feeling recently with the state of the world and little ways that I choose to live a loving and fulfilled life. I don't really know how to start this video, to be completely honest. I am someone who's a very political person in my own personal life. I will firmly state where I stand when it comes to politics. I'm very left-leaning, very progressive, LGBTQ rights all the way.
I'm part of the LGBTQ community, and this is my best friend, Valentina. She's an ally. Talk, Valentina.
Ally.
Now, with that being said, I do not have any interest in being a political debater or commentator. Given the current state of the way things are going in America and Western countries in general, I'm sure you can understand why I feel a bit more anxious than usual. A lot of people feel a bit more anxious than usual. And the world can look a little scary right now for all of us. I think where our unity really lies is in our need for survival. It's in our need for love, our need for compassion and connection with each other, with ourselves. And so this video here is not to talk about what's going on in the world. Where I do want to talk to you and hopefully have a connection with you is in how to live intentionally with the life that we do have. It is important where you do have control to try to approach life with positive intent. If not just for you, for the people around you who love you. You owe it to yourself more than anything to do that, but you also, in a way, will help out people around you by inspiring them, by getting them motivated to do something good. And those small changes start to add up. If we all start to kind of try to unify and appreciate life and celebrate life, that is a form of resistance. I do want to talk about some of the things that I tend to do that have helped me navigate this whole process that is life, that is current life in 2025. And I hope this video can really offer you some hope, some calm even. And yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the ways that I choose to live my life with love. The first thing that I take very seriously when choosing to live life in love is nourishing my body, my mind, and my soul. Choosing to work out, stretch, meditate when I have the time. And, you know, I'm not always consistent with these things. Sometimes I just dance. It's like I dance around my house, I dance to music. Sometimes I'll go for a walk. I just try to get my body moving. For the most part, I really try to make sure I eat fairly well. And I do that by cooking for myself. Not only is it nourishing like my physical being, but it's nourishing my mind. And I think just stepping outside of your comfort zone to treat yourself well is probably one of the best ways to live in love. You taking care of your body means your body will take care of you for longer. So nourishing my mind and soul by creating, by reading. So many people don't understand the value that comes with reading, but I want to emphasize an uneducated population as a population that is easy to control. The less educated you are, the easier you are to control, because the more gullible you are to believe any bullshit that someone says if they sound smart enough. I've been there. I had a little stint in 2018 where I fell down some content I no longer agree with. So I heard a political commentator speak in a very confident and fast way. And to me, that translated as intelligence. And I was like, oh, well, he's intelligent, so he must be, whatever he's saying must be right. I was easily manipulated and gullible because I didn't know what they were talking about. So I just took it at face value. This isn't to say that you have to be the smartest person in the room. I'm not the smartest person in a lot of rooms, but I value intelligence. I do value it. Whether I'm intelligent or not, to be determined. I guess it depends. on what we're talking about. Hi, this is post-editing Luna, and I just wanted to add to what I was saying about the importance of reading, because I don't feel like I tied that well together. Apologies, I had severe brain fog when I was recording this video. But I just wanted to add that reading has so many benefits overall for your entire life. I've learned so much about the world, so much about culture, so much about history through reading. I've learned things I didn't know that I needed to know. Even just reading fiction and reading stories teaches you so much about the world around us, because stories in a way are a reflection of our surroundings, of the things that we experience as humans. It allows you to connect more to humanity through the form of art and writing. And also, there's so many studies to support the correlation between reading and prolonged health and longevity in life, with decreased risks of mortality. It is a very, very important hobby to develop, so get your nose in a book. Creativity is one of the highest forms of frequency. You are part of the cosmic flow. You are part of universal law. You are part of the creative process. You are a creator as well. And so I think it's just another way to harmonize with the energy of the universe and to kind of unify. I feel like we unify through art. We unify through creativity. We unify through expression. And appreciating your expressive process, appreciating your creative process, and allowing yourself to be present in it, to me, is one of the highest forms of love, because it's allowing yourself to just be and exist and create, which is your divine right, in my opinion. We are all human at the end of the day. And as much as I love the idea of connecting with the divine and connecting with universal law and being within the flow of universal energy, I think it's also important to remember we are humans in these human bodies living a human experience, and we are subjected to the realities of life as a human. And that means we are not going to be perfect all the time. We are an imperfect creature. And in a way that is somewhat beautiful, like life ebbs and flows, and we should learn to adapt with it. And part of adapting with it is adapting to ourselves and allowing ourselves to fail sometimes, or have flaws, or not be perfect, or have a mistake, and offer ourselves and others the opportunity to grow and to learn from those mistakes. It's giving grace to ourselves. It's allowing humans to exist as exactly that, as humans, and not putting people on a pedestal, but also not viewing them as below you or beneath you. Another way I choose to live in love is to allow myself to rest, and actually rest, not doom scroll and rest, not rest and distract myself and call that rest. That's not true rest. I mean, like, actually rest. I try to allow myself to get proper sleep. I allow myself to take it slow on my luteal phase, which I'm in right now. I usually take it a little bit slower. My workouts change a little bit. My routine changes. I try to just allow myself to live as best as I can in moments where I'm able to, and not hold myself to this like weird standard of like what it means to be productive and live in a specific way. I think like scrolling on social media and even watching like YouTube videos of people's morning routines, we can sometimes measure ourselves up to the standards of what we see. And we have to remember, this is a highlight reel. Sometimes people have access to more time and resources and money than we do. I'm someone who works a 9 to 5. I have a full-time job on top of trying to create content and doing my little creative hobbies on the side. So my routines are quite simplified, actually, because I need to focus on other things. Even though my routine is simplified, it is as potent as it absolutely could be. I have very few steps in my skincare routine as an example. I like wake up in the morning, I just rinse my face with some warm water, get the gunk out of my eyes, and oil pull, brush my teeth, floss. While I oil pull, I'll do calf raises, or I'll dance a little bit. I like kind of habit stack, I think is what it's called. I think it's important to have routines, but I also think it's important to not pressure ourselves to meet those routines if we don't have the energy to do so. Allow yourself the grace of rest. Allow yourself the grace to not be perfect and not measure up to something you saw in someone else's life. I gotta love, love. I think it's very important to nourish and nurture relationships, especially with the way things are going in the world. Community is probably one of the most important things to preserve right now. I think preserving your energy is great, but I think the individual should inform the collective and vice versa. I think, yes, it's great to work on ourselves, build up who we are, learn to be our authentic selves, and live our lives beautifully and with love individualistically. But we should also pour some of that energy into the community, and the community will then pour it back into us. I think that is where you find balance between the two. I don't have a lot of friends in my life. I'm a pretty introverted and somewhat isolated person. I tend to live a pretty isolated life, but I do have some wonderful people in my life. And I really try to make an intentional effort to connect with those people any way that I can. My best friend, Elisa, and I talk at least once a week on the phone. She totally understands the fact that I need a lot of alone time, and she's so respectful of that. I am very appreciative of that. And everyone in my life kind of knows who I am as a person. They know I need a lot of alone time, and they respect that because I communicate with them. But I still try to connect with them. If you can only commit so much, that's totally fine. But you need to communicate that with people. Otherwise, people are going to have expectations of you to show up in a way or in an amount that you're not able to commit to. I try to be as grateful as I possibly can be for everything that I have and everything I'm able to experience. And that goes for everything. I'm grateful for the beautiful home I've created. I'm grateful for my thrifted decor and, so much of what's going on in my home and my life. I'm grateful for my partner and the wonderful things in my life, like my family and friends. But I'm also grateful for some of those more troublesome moments that have taught me about myself or taught me about life in general and allow me to move through life in a more informed and intentional way. The best example I can give, and I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, I still love this person very deeply, but I had a falling out with a family member. And, at the time, it was probably one of the most devastating things for me to experience. And, it kind of trickled down into this argument that honestly could have been avoided if we had properly communicated with each other. And for a while, I was beating myself up because they said some really hurtful things. Then I realized, maybe this was a good time to kick off some introspection and really face some of what they said. Is what they said true? Do I really believe that about myself? Is it something that I should internalize as deeply as I'm internalizing it now? It kicked off that jumping point, and that jumping point led to other conversations within myself in other areas of my life. And it just led to a form of introspection where I could self-reflect and really take into account what my values are, where I stand on them. Even taking away those lessons or taking away those questions was so important. And so in a way, I became grateful for it because I was like, it kicked off some valuable conversation. In general, when life throws you things you don't want to deal with, especially when it comes to your character being brought into your question, relationships dissolving or dismantling, jobs or opportunities slipping away from your fingers, those can be the most telling about who we are as people, and how you choose to use that information moving forward can shape your reality for the better. To me, that is worthy of gratitude. We should be thinking about the things that we don't want to think about, and I would say get comfortable with being uncomfortable and be grateful for the discomfort, because the discomfort is a form of information. Expressing gratitude is probably one of the best things that you can do in terms of love, because it's recognizing that life is curious and life is interesting and life might not always be what we want it to be, but it is our life and we only have one. And this experience is meant to be felt and held deeply within us on all aspects. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. I know it was a bit ranty, but I feel like that might just be my style of video now. And I hope you were able to resonate with some of this, and I hope that this provided somewhat of a calm, cool, chill space for you to kind of remember that life is meant to be lived with love. And we can only express that love in the ways that we can control. But sometimes we have more control than we like to think. And I think that's important to remember. And I want to let you know that you're loved. You are loved so deeply. You are so valid, and you are so worthy of a beautiful life. And I know things can be scary, But we need more people to live in the energy of love, because love is an energy of resistance. It really is. It is an energy of resistance to all that wants to see us suffer and be miserable. It is probably one of the best frequencies you can attune your life to. And just know that you're worthy of love. You are loved by me, by so many people, I'm sure. And I just hope this video was able to provide some of that energy of love. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon. Bye.